Hello there guys, welcome to one of my videos. On this video tonight, I am going to be giving you my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference ahead of our game against FC Copenhagen in the Europa League quarter final. The press conference was over 17 minutes long. So, in relation to injuries, Phil Jones hasn't travelled with the squad. I think he's got a knee injury, Phil Jones, and I think he's actually not going to have an operation or something like that on his knee. Also too, Luke Shaw obviously hasn't travelled. He's out with an ankle injury. He's going to be back for the new season. And Tuanzebe obviously hasn't travelled, and he's also going to be out for the new. He's going to be out until the new season. But you obviously all knew that anyway. Also too, during the press conference, Solskjaer was asked about Paul Pogba. He was actually, discussing the extra work that Anthony Martial and Paul Pogba, have been doing. He also mentioned that, we are seeing the best now of Anthony Martial in his career. But he was just basically asked about Paul Pogba, regarding his contract and that. Solskjaer's obviously, recently said that, Paul Pogba will stay at the club and he will end up signing a new contract at Manchester United. And obviously, I think it was yesterday, it was his fourth year anniversary at the football club. And Paul Pogba, was actually celebrating that. But he said Paul Pogba, does need to make up for the time he has missed, because don't forget, for the vast majority of the Premier League season, he was out with an ankle injury, was Paul Pogba. Did okay though towards the end of the Premier League season. Fabrizio Romano, who is a very reliable Italian journalist, very close to United as well, he came out recently and said that Paul Pogba's happy at the football club. And he said that Paul Pogba wants to stay, and he says Man United will enter negotiations with his agent Mini Raiola over extending his contract at the football club. Because as it stands at the moment, Pogba's got just under a year left on his Man United contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. But obviously, at one point it was looking very imminent that Pogba was going to be leaving the club last year. Don't forget, like it got mentioned in the press conference, he said he wanted to leave Man United because he was seeking for a new challenge. And he didn't only say he wanted to leave, he publicly admitted that he wanted to leave the football club. But yeah, he did say in regards to Anthony Martial, he's really, really improved, and he still wants to see more improvements from Anthony Martial. Anthony Martial's enjoyed a very, very good season for Man United. Obviously, this has been his 5th year at the football club. I think he's enjoyed 2 good years at the club. He's done very, very well this season under Solskjaer, and did very, very well in his debut season under the Louis van Gaal era. We did pay around 36 million for Anthony Martial. Also, too, in the press conference, Solskjaer, was asked about, Sergio Romero and David De Gea. He was also asked about, Dean Henderson and all of that. And Solskjaer has admitted that he has got difficult decisions to make on, 3 of our goalkeepers. Because he says, we're going to find it very, very hard to keep all of our 3 goalkeepers, 3 of our senior goalkeepers happy. And I think he believes that we can't actually have 3 goalkeepers at the club for next season. But the question is, who's going to start in goal in this game against FC Copenhagen? I probably think that Solskjaer is going to go with David De Gea, but he hasn't actually said who he's going to start in this game really. He hasn't even mentioned if he's going to go with his strongest 11. But I think he's going to go with a pretty strong team, is Solskjaer, because obviously, he isn't going to take any risks. But yeah, I think he'll go with De Gea. Obviously, Sergio Romero has played in the cup games. Obviously, that was mentioned during the press conference. He played in all our FA Cup games, apart from the semi-final against Chelsea. Obviously, played in our game against Lask in the last round. And I think we need to stick with Sergio Romero in goal. I think there's actually a chance that we could sell Sergio Romero in this summer transfer window, because when we do recall Dean Henderson back from his loan, then you can say that, Sergio Romero is going to be our 3rd choice goalkeeper and that. I think Romero's got like a year left on his Manchester United contract. but the club have got an option to extend it for the further year. I think this has been now Sergio Romero's 5th season at Manchester United. We did get him on a free transfer from San Pandora back in 2015. But yeah, I think he'll go with De Gea. Like I said, I hope that David De Gea doesn't remain our number one for next season. Obviously, Solskjaer's spoken a hell of a lot about David De Gea. He was saying the other week that he has been the best goalkeeper in the world for the last 9 or 10 years. But I think David De Gea has had 7 good years out of the 9 years he's been at Man United, because in the last couple of years he has been a liability at the football club, reflecting on the calamitous mistakes he has made. I just don't see us selling De Gea in this summer transfer window. I really, really don't. But Dean Henderson now, I think he's ready to become Manchester United's number one goalkeeper. Solskjaer did say recently, though, that he doesn't think Dean Henderson's ready to become our number one. I think Dean Henderson has now got that experience behind him, because he's enjoyed 2 successful loans with Sheffield United. And he was Sheffield United's player of the season. He also had other loan spells with Stockport, Grimsby and Shrewsbury. We got Dean Henderson back in 2011 from Carlisle. We got him at the age of 14. Recent stories have come out saying that we've offered Dean Henderson a new deal worth around £60,000 a week. So reportedly his wages will increase around 5 times. But Dean Henderson's still got a contract with the football club until 2022. That's his current contract. There were stories coming out from Sky Sports the other week saying that contract talks had hit a crucial stage with Dean Henderson. But Chelsea are still interested in him. But Solskjaer did say after lockdown, didn't he, that he expects Dean Henderson to be England's and Man United's number one goalkeeper in the future, and that, So this is, what he also mentioned in the press conference. He was also asked to describe his relationship with SOlSJAKER, who is the Copenhagen manager. And obviously, Solskjaer knows SOlSJAKER really, really well. He said he has created a legacy, Copenhagen. He did mention that SOlSJAKER was a very, very good player. He also mentioned Solskjaer that he played against him for the first time in 1995. And he also mentioned that SOlSJAKER has had a very, very good managerial career. So he was also, asked about this. During the press conference as well, Brandon Williams got asked a few questions. How it obviously, feels now to be in our first team. Because obviously, at the start of the, season, was it? Or was it pre-season? Brandon Williams was in the reserves in that. He was asked about, could he be possibly, put back into the under-23s? I don't see that happening, Brandon Williams has just said, he wants to keep improving as a Manchester United player, and he obviously, wants to continue his development at the club. He also, does want to remain fit, does Brandon Williams. But, Williams, has played a lot of games this season for Manchester United. He's played a lot of games this season. Obviously, he isn't our first choice left back as yet. Obviously, Luke Shaw's our first choice left back, and he has been our first choice left back for a while. But whilst Luke Shaw's out, Williams is going to get even more opportunities, during this Europa League campaign. He was also asked a bit later on in the press conference, about, the positions he's obviously played in and that. Obviously played at left back. I think he's played at left wing back. I think he also played, at right wing against Liverpool. And Williams has basically said it doesn't matter what position, he plays in. If he's given his chance, he will, do the best he can, basically. But, we had the good news, didn't we, regarding Brandon Williams recently. He signed a 4-year contract with Manchester United. And so he's under contract with the football club till 2024. And he's also an option of a further year. And Williams, did get a huge pay rise, because before he signed this new deal, he was only on $4,000 a week. Williams did make his senior debut in our game against Rochdale in the EFL Cup. And he made his first start in the Premier League against Brighton. But I definitely think, that Brandon Williams is the foreseeable future for Manchester United. Obviously, Solskjaer, says we're in this competition to win it. Solskjaer knows how much of a priority, the Europa League is, because obviously, we want to win our first trophy under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. And Solskjaer, was recently saying that, him winning the Europa League as Manchester United manager would be the greatest achievement. So what he's saying is, it would surpass, when it will surpass, 1999, of course, when we did win the treble. Obviously, 1999 was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's most iconic moment as a Manchester United player. But he knows how imperative it is, for Manchester United to win the Europa League. Obviously, this is the quarterfinals. It is our 26th quarterfinal. It is our 26th quarterfinal. And this is actually FC Copenhagen's first ever European quarter final. But if we do beat, obviously, Copenhagen, we will reach our second European semi-final since Alex Ferguson's retirement. Obviously, we do play the winners of Wolves or Sevilla. That's if, we do beat FC Copenhagen and that. But I think, Man United are the favourites to win the Europa League. We do win the Europa League as well. It isn't only our first trophy under Solskjaer. It's also our first trophy in over 3 years. Obviously, Solskjaer, spoke quite a lot about Copenhagen during the press conference. He didn't only talk about, the manager and that. He spoke about, some good young players that they've got. He says defensively, they are quite good. But they have got some pretty decent records in Europe, according to Solskjaer. But there again, I don't really know much about FC Copenhagen. Like I said to you on my preview, the last time we played FC Copenhagen, I think, was back in the Champions League group stages, back in the 2006-07 season. I think we lost to them away 1-0, but we obviously, beat them 3-0 at Old Trafford. But I think, Solskjaer is going to go with a strong team. He will make changes, from the 2-1 win against Lask recently. I expect the likes of Martial to start. Bruno Fernandes could start. In my starting 11 prediction, I said, he wouldn't start Bruno Fernandes, but he could anyway, or at least be involved in the game. Pogba will probably start. Rashford, he could start as well, but maybe, he may come on, he may not start the game. Harry Maguire, I think he'll keep his place at centre-half. And Wan-Bissaka, he'll definitely start at right-back. I think Lindelof will definitely start as well. Matic, not too sure about him. Jesse Lingard also, could get given another opportunity. Don't forget, Jesse Lingard did score in the last game against Lask. Jesse Lingard has scored twice in his last 2 games for Manchester United, so that's very, very good. Juan Mata could possibly, be involved as well. I expect Mason Greenwood as well to be involved, because he played no part against Lask, and I think Mason Greenwood's enjoyed a very, very good season for Manchester United. But yeah, definitely no changes will be made. He will not take any risks, because have you noticed, when we haven't gone with our strongest team, we have struggled. We maybe have got the result that we wanted, but we've struggled to put a good performance out. Lask, when we beat them 2-1, not a good performance at all, but still got the win, and we was 1-0 down. Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-final, didn't play, the strongest team, and got beat 3-1. De Gea made 2 howlers in that. Norwich in the FA Cup quarter-finals, obviously struggled in that. Norwich took us to extra time, but luckily, Harry Maguire got the winner in extra time and that. So I think he's going to go with his best 11. I really, really do believe this. But it'll be interesting to see, how he approaches the game. So these are some of the stuff, that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did mention during his press conference and that. But I think, Man United have enjoyed a very, very good season. Solskjaer so far has obviously exceeded expectations at the football club. Obviously, we got Champions League qualification. That's something Man United needed. Obviously, we finished 3rd. I think that was also a fantastic achievement. We're now in the Europa League quarter-finals. We did progress to the semi-finals of the EFL Cup and the FA Cup. That was also, very, very good. And you wouldn't have thought, Solskjaer would have exceeded expectations, flexing how poor Man United were earlier on in the season, because earlier on in the season, we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. Solskjaer at that point was so close to getting sacked as Manchester United manager. But he's done well in his first full season at the club. Obviously, next season is definitely the big test for Solskjaer, because next season he'll have big expectations to exceed. Obviously, I said next season we'll probably be expected to challenge for the title, but it all depends on how we recruit. But I think we're going to do good recruitment in this summer transfer window, because we have got qualification for the Champions League. But next season will be Solskjaer's second full season at the football club. I still don't know if he's the foreseeable future for Man United. Obviously, no, time will tell. But there you go. But like I said, Solskjaer has been at Manchester United now, is it over a year and a half? Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding this Man United team, because like I said, it's a transition period, and it has been a transition period for a while, and Solskjaer, said at the beginning of the year he's hopeful that we can get through this transition period. But there's been quite a lot of teams over the years and in recent years who have been, in transition period. But like I said, Solskjaer doesn't only face a tough decision on his goalkeepers. There's other decisions he's got to make in his summer transfer window as well. What players is he going to recommend in? What players are going to leave Manchester United? Obviously, our number one priority target is Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. Just want to give you a bit of news on him, by the way. He is now in the UK because he recently attended a friend's house party. I think it was in London. So this may have stirred suggestions up, because he is here obviously in the UK. Borussia Dortmund obviously have given a statement on it, and they have no issue with him travelling to the UK. But I think he's expected to return to training with Dortmund tomorrow. Now, obviously, this morning I was talking with you about Jadon Sancho. And Sancho does expect to complete a move to Manchester United in this summer transfer window. Obviously, Dortmund have already set their deadline for the sale of Sancho. They've said we must sign him by the 10th of August. And obviously, the 10th of August is tomorrow. So tomorrow is the deadline for Sancho. Obviously, we're going to give Jadon Sancho the number 7. If he does sign for Manchester United, and I think he'd fulfill the number 7 really, really well. Obviously, we have got number 7 vacant at the moment, but we have had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations. We really, really have. And I've already outlined the reasons why I want Manchester United to sign Sancho. Obviously, good friendship with Rashford, will dramatically improve us, runs on and off the ball very, very good. And I think Sancho has enjoyed 3 good years with Borussia Dortmund. He's still got a contract left until 2022. Dortmund got him from Man City for just £8 million. So obviously, he was a cheap solution. But analyse his performances in the few years he's been with Dortmund, his valuation has persistently grown. But like I said, throughout the course of this Jadon Sancho transfer saga, it's been Borussia Dortmund's asking price that has been the stumbling block, because several times Dortmund have said they want over 100 million, and several times, we have said we are not willing to pay what Borussia Dortmund are demanding in that. But we may have to be forced into paying what Dortmund want if we want to get Sancho on the board. Fabrizio Romano came out last week and said that Sancho's agreed personal terms with Man United, and it says he is going to sign a 5-year deal at the football club worth around £340,000 a week and that. But like I said, no fee has yet come to an agreement. You had Borussia Dortmund's CEO recently saying that, Man United have not put any bidding or they've made any contacts for Sancho. But, the Borussia Dortmund CEO did deny it. Wait there a second. But these obviously reports coming out now saying that Jadon Sancho's deal to Manchester United could be off because you know, their asking price, and it's obviously said talks have broken down recently. But as far as I'm aware, you know, Sancho does want to come to Manchester United. You know, he really, really does. But I think Dortmund are looking for like £90 million up front. You know, the valuation's £108 million, but we only want to pay around £60 or £70 million up front. You know, we have been looking at a few alternatives to Sancho because, you know, these cheaper solutions in him, but I think it's very imperative that we get him on the board. We need more than Sancho at Manchester United, obviously, you know, if we are to be title contenders. I think if we get Sancho, we need to probably make around 3 more signings after him. Grealish is obviously, you know, still on our agenda. I'm very sceptical, though, that we'll get Jack Grealish now from Aston Villa. I think Grealish will end up staying at Villa because obviously Villa stayed up and that. If Villa would have got relegated, then I think Grealish would have left Aston Villa. Grealish would have left Aston Villa, wouldn't he? But Villa obviously, you know, want around £80 million for him anyway. Donny van der Beek, you know, there's still stories coming out saying that we are the favourites to sign him from Ajax. There were stories coming out regarding Raul Jimenez the other week, you know, saying that, you know, he was on his way to Man United. Obviously, that was the media justifying their existence on that particular story and that. But Solskjaer's already outlined his plans for this summer transfer window. You know, he said he's instructed our board to go and get his preferred targets, and Solskjaer said, you know, he wants to make at least 3 signings in this summer transfer window, and you know, he's identified the areas in the squad where he does want to strengthen up because there's still deficiencies in the squad. You know, we have got around £140 million to spend in this summer transfer window. Obviously, we get Sancho, the vast majority of that will be gone, but obviously we're going to sell players in this summer transfer window, so we are going to generate money that way. I think we're going to sell at least 7 players in this summer transfer window. I expect Lingard to go, I want Pereira to go, I want Rojo to go permanently, I want Jones to go. I want Diego Dalot to also go because I don't think he's good enough to represent the football club. Obviously, we know that Dalot's been back in training recently, you know, just like Victor Lindelof. I think Juan Mata will be at the football club for next season. I don't think, you know, Juan Mata will leave Manchester United as yet. I know he doesn't get in the team lot now, but when he does, he still does make a fantastic impact. You know, so players are definitely going to leave in this summer transfer window. But Solskjaer has got rid of a lot of the players since he got recommended in to the football club. So he's got rid of a lot of the deadwood. He really, really has. Like I said, I've seen a lot of improvements since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got recommended in. Like I said, yeah, I think our recruitment's really, really improved under him. I think throughout the course of this season, he has promoted the youth very, very well. Our record against the top 6 sides being very, very good. You know, so I've definitely seen improvements under Solskjaer. I really, really have. But don't get me wrong, there's still improvements needed. There's still some aspects of our game that I've got to improve. Maybe there's certain players, you know, that I've got to improve. Maybe Solskjaer should give more of the youngsters their chances because there's some young players that have found game time very, very difficult and that. But I think we're going to loan some of the young players out in this summer transfer window anyway, so they can go get regular first team football. You know. But by the way, we're not going to let any player under 19 leave Manchester United. That has also been confirmed. That's also, you know, been confirmed and that. But yeah, really, really looking forward to this game tomorrow. It's only one-legged, obviously, you know, due to the coronavirus pandemic. And I'm hopeful that we can progress to the semi-finals. But there's still some good teams in this Europa League, don't forget. You know, still some good teams in it. But this summer transfer window is Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Man United manager. Obviously, the window's now been open over a week. And, yeah, you know, so far at the football club, Solskjaer spent just over £200 million, and so far he has made 4 permanent signings at Manchester United, you know. But, you know, Solskjaer, you know, has got that managerial experience behind him now because, You know, Man United, he's been here over 18 months. You know, Man United is the third club in his managerial career and that. Like I said, he's still got decisions to make regarding the contracts. We have extended a lot of players' contracts since Solskjaer came in, but we have got around 8 players' contracts that are due to expire next year, and Solskjaer's got to make a decision on these players. He really hasn't that. You know, but I think there'll be more news regarding Jadon Sancho tomorrow. They really will in that. But I want us to sign him, I really do. If we don't, you know, it will be a disappointment. But, you know, we shall see. Like I said, I think now Solskjaer at the football club knows his best 11. He also knows his best formation. Obviously, throughout the course of the Premier League season, he did make a lot of rotation, though, didn't he? That's obviously no reflects on the injuries that we had earlier on in the season. But got to say, I think the fitness levels have also improved this season under Solskjaer. We have seen an upturn in form since January. You know, we haven't lost in the league since Burnley. You know, we are unbeaten in our last 14 league games, and we did go on the night in game unbeaten, winning all competitions until Chelsea beating us in the FA Cup semi-final. But yeah. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very soon.